as PSN, have we been able to link up what they've done? I'll take cornstarch. Nigeria grows a lot of cornstarch. Can't we as pharmacists get together and drive the manufacture of cornstarch to whatever grade it needs to be driven to? If it's all that we get out of this meeting today, just to invest. Many of us can invest. PSN has a lot of money. It can call for levies if you have to raise more money from PSN. PMG man is there. We have to have our own individual will too, to come out and produce cornstarch, whatever it will take. If we have to take loan from anywhere, the Bank of Industry is here. I go for cornstarch. The importation can stop automatically if we can manufacture cornstarch. Cornstarch alone. Thank you.
I therefore move a motion that this conference will adopt that by the year 2020, the Pharmaceutical Society of Nigeria, working with the Pharmaceutical Manufacturers Group and all the stakeholders, must make sure that we produce pharmaceutical grade cornstarch and indeed all the starches that we use for the pharmaceutical industry locally. Those in support say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Now clap for yourselves. Thank you, IK, for that wonderful suggestion. We're going to take it on. Maybe it's time, because from what IK has said and from the comments made from Babalola, you find that our problem is, are we putting big time investment into the industry? Are we putting big time investment? Luckily today we have a big time investor in industries. Can he give us some thoughts as to what the industry needs to do to attract more investment into that industry? So let me invite the group president of Masters Energy Group that are not only oil and gas, but they are in 8 or 9 different product manufacturing, to give us some insight. Put your hands together for Dr. Uchechukwu Ogah.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, let me thank the Pharmaceutical Society of Nigeria for inviting me for this program. I appreciate the entire organizers. And I want to say the importance of a pharmacist in the life or existence of a man is of very, very key essence. Because that you will know, because without the administration of drugs by the pharmacist, you know it is impossible for you to get drugs that can meet the needs of today's life. When I came in, I saw all that Mazi said concerning the Vision 2020, and have been able to analyze all the salient points that needed to be known by the entire society. However, my point is this, which is what everyone here has been saying. How do we reduce the importation of the aggregate raw materials required? Understanding that the per capita income of an average Nigerian is so low, and we are bedeviled with so many diseases. So for every Nigerian to afford these drugs need to be manufactured locally, so we can bring the cost of these drugs very low, so that an average Nigerian can afford them instead of dependent on importation. Now, one thing I've tried to let people know, that the time has come in Nigeria where inventors and investors has to meet. That is where the level we are today. If you look at the men, if you watch the men that built America, that was how America was built. The the inventors and investors have to meet. You have to bring up, everybody needs to bring up his own idea. And that idea needs to be put in a basket. And then there will be investors. People will be convinced and they will put money. We all know that the cost of establishing a pharmaceutical manufacturing industry is large and huge. It is not something that one person, yes, and today in Nigeria, the cost of borrowing is very, very expensive. You cannot borrow billions to invest in manufacturing. Rather, you look for strategic investors who will believe in what you have and then the capacity. And in that process, we'll be able to discover and produce drugs that can meet the need of our Nigerian people. We have the growing population as a nation. We have all the indices working for us. And we have intelligent people. We have so many pharmacists in Nigeria who are very intelligent. Then you can equally come together to build group focus. What I call group focus in the sense that you have people coming together and so that we can discover and evolve products that can meet the daily needs of Nigerians. And by so doing, we will be able to produce the drugs that is needed in Nigeria. When my sister was talking, he was talking about policies, or I think it was him that was talking about policies. The PSN can become a force which can attack. When I mean attack, it's not physical attack, but the PSN can engage the federal government on creating relevant policies that can help in encouraging local manufacturers. I know when our sister Dora was alive, she fought importation. She tried as much as possible to encourage local manufacturers. This is what we are saying. We need policies that will encourage so that even as an investor and as a manufacturer, when you produce, you should be able to make profit. Because we have a lot of things working against us. We don't have the power. We don't have, as a manufacturer, you provide virtually everything. You depend on buying gas. You depend on buying everything for your manufacturing. So you find out that without you, it is very difficult. But we can engage government to create clusters of industries. Whereby if government can create clusters of industries by providing one, you provide power. Two, you provide the network. You provide other services. Then we can bring the inventors and investors to now build their pharmaceutical industries, and that can help to increase our manufacturing processes. And that will definitely help in terms of lowering our dependence on importation. Because we all know that the more we import, the more we deplete our foreign reserve. And we have all that it needs. We have everything required locally for us to meet whatever local demand in terms of raw material that is needed today in Nigeria that is required locally for the manufacturing industry, especially for the pharmaceuticals. Thank you.
Wonderful. Please put your hands together for Dr. Uche. He has a challenge to us. That challenge is that if we are looking for investors, if we are looking for big-time investors to our industry, we must package the proposals. We should come together as groups and take specific projects, and then investors like him can be brought in. Because we know the industry more than they do. We know what it takes. We know its contributions. The second point is to reiterate what has been earlier said, the issue of advocacy by PSN to force the hand of government to pay more attention to the issues related to local manufacturing. Money is an issue, and he has raised it. Perhaps it's the right time to invite the BOI lady. Please, can you walk up here and tell us how BOI is helping will help to provide the funds as we begin to come with the projects. As we go out here to put our projects together, how do you give us funding? Sit down. You will just give us 2 minutes. What are you doing to support the industry? What are you doing? What will you do? Thank you. What's your name? Uche Lawrence is from BOI. Please put your hands together for her.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'll plead to stand on the existing protocol. In BOI, we have a pharmaceutical division, which is actually in charge of financing pharmaceutical projects through the whole value chain, from manufacturing, packaging, and everything that links to pharmaceutical manufacturing. Okay, and accessing BOI fund is very easy. All you need to do is to complete your documentation. And within 60 days, the fund will be disbursed to you if you meet all the conditions precedent. Yes. Thank you. I said, if you meet all the requirements.
Anyway, you know, when insurance will give you paper, you can't see the small writings and small letters. She said that if we meet the requirements, in 60 days, we get the money. And I was already saying, when do we start? But let me say, for BOI, I am certain that BOI is one of the most proactive and supportive government agencies today. I say it because we have accessed funds from different companies that I have interest in, from BOI, and they are very, 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 very supportive. And what she says, I believe they mean it. Thank you very much. State. That's also the cost of success. When you succeed, time becomes an issue. But we're happy that our own Dr. Mrs. Okoli has honored us as pharmacists, and she's here to make some contribution to this subject. Over to you.
Let me say a good warm welcome to all of you. You can see that the sun is shining, everything is well, and God is certainly here. I want to start by thanking my colleagues in PSN from inception to today for carrying on the baton. I want to say that if we didn't do that, we will not be here today. And all our hardworking pharmacists, both old and young, that put this fantastic program together. I dove my heart and I say, may God bless you all. The profession of pharmacy is a noble one all over the world. And if you consider yourself a pharmacist, you must hold your own. And if they talk of integrity, you're there. If they talk of everything good, you're there. And as you continue to do good, the Lord will bless you. I'm going to talk on medicine availability and national security. This theme is very ripe at this time because security, what is security? Security is ensuring life and property, ensuring that a country can be on their own in a case of war or unforeseen, that we can quickly move around and get what we need. Number one will be food. Number two will be medicine. So we are being called to higher places to ensure that the rich soil that the Lord has given us, that we use it to produce good quality pharmaceuticals locally. We have a lot of, natural resources. I think they were talking about starch when I came in, and I'm sure they've talked about herbal products. We have a lot of herbs. And if we are able to research into these herbs and turn them to medicine, we will rank first in the world to help to cure most of these diseases that have no cure. We can do it, but we must concentrate, we must work together and ensure that we do it. Everybody knows the tales and woe about local manufacturing. There's no infrastructure, there is no this, there's no that. Nothing, and I want you to write it down, nothing should deter us from what we want to do. Nothing. We should keep moving ahead. We should keep solving the problem. And we should keep engaging the government. They are there for us. We are engaging them. BOI is here. She's doing a lot. But a lot more they can do. When we join hands, as we say we do, we can move mountains. We will get our country back. We have the best manufacturing companies in Nigeria. Already in West Africa, 90% of drugs produced are from Nigeria. And the government did say some years back that they want to procure 70% of the drugs they use in the hospitals. Whether they are doing that or not is obviously for us. We have to cry out. We have to make sure that we get what belongs to us. The world is looking at Nigeria. Children and young people are looking at us. So how are we going to convert those young energies into making pharmaceutical products? It's very, very important that we harness potential that God gave us to make, raw materials. But you know what? The government we have now, they have made some pronouncements. Ease of doing business. executive order. What are we doing about it? We should hold them, and we should make sure that pharmaceutical industry is one of the ones that they will make local investors. If you have good local investors, the foreign investor will come. Money moves to where there's opportunity. I think Ogah must have told you that. I was in the same aircraft with him. It's very important that we do, because if that is gone, we can now say that there's light at the end of the tunnel. And I want to close by saying that we can make so many products at the moment, both anti-malarials and so forth. And about 4 companies have attained WHO certification, and 9 others are in the queue, being audited by various bodies. And I want to say that I'm very happy to spend few minutes with this prestigious audience. And I want to say that Mazi Sam Ohuabunwa, you should celebrate him. Begin to celebrate him now. Begin to celebrate him now. I do not know many people that are like him. From one thing to the other, one person to the other. If you will not do and ensure that we have vibrant pharmaceutical manufacturing industry in Nigeria, please do it because of him. Please do it because of people like him. I want to say thank you very much, and I want to believe that not only pharmaceutical manufacturing plants we are going to have, we are going to make our own machinery. We must make our machinery, because everybody started with technology. What is wrong with that? As you know, the Industrial Council council that has been inaugurated, they are working very, very hard. You can present a paper, send them a paper. Say, you are doing well, we had, but this is what you can do for the industry. This is not time to keep quiet. I want to say, thank you, everybody. God bless you all. Thank you, Sam.
Thank you very much. I stood up, and then she began to talk about me. I said, I wish I had gone, I knew that she wanted to read a citation or say something about me. Thank you, Stella. I think I need to say that you made some critical points before you leave. One, she has taken us to the herbal products. That is our lowest hanging fruit. And when we combine it with R&D, I think we can package certain things that we can be known for. We may not be able to do too much in synthetic medicine now, but we can do a lot from natural sources. And I think that's where we should put our focus. Excipients, raw materials, especially those from natural products, I believe, and also to open our eyes and see that the field is wide. Not just Nigeria, West Africa, Africa, we can produce for those markets. And there are large markets that we must take. And then she ended up with saying technology. Technology. And technology today with 3D printing is no longer as it used to be. It's not just metallic and iron. Technology has gone beyond that level, and we have some pharmacies who are venturing into technology so that we can apply them to local manufacturing. Thank you for those very wonderful points. Benga, I know you are importing pharmaceutical products. Tell us what we need to do to make you stop. so they can buy locally. Tell us what to do to make sure that Emzo, Nemet, Mopsin can produce for you. That is why we're here. You are one of the biggest importers.
Thank you very much. Standing on existing protocol. I just stepped down this April as the national chairman of the Association of Industrial Pharmacists. And we've always tried to collaborate. At least one thing that we've been able to do, which Professor Babalola here on the stage with me, we agree, is that we've been able to have a handshake right now, though still on a nascent point for the industry and the academia. And we believe that we can still do more on that. However, from looking directly at what you ask, what can PMG-MAN do? I've always argued, number one, PMG-MAN needs to change their philosophy in terms of relationship with current importers. I've always argued PMG-MAN should see the current importers as a customer, as a potential customer. That is what the Indians saw. And then they come in their droves and were able to convince people who were just trading to start importing. If PMG-MAN sees those people who are importing right now as overseas manufacturers, then it's possible for PMG-MAN to make them to domesticate their production locally. We have people who have done that. Pharmacist Okoye is there. Some of his very fast-moving products is making locally in Nigeria. He didn't start doing that originally. And so many other people. PMG-MAN members should open up into contract manufacturing. My company, at the point I was trying to convince us to backward integrate. And we have a challenge when we approach some of the companies locally. The contract manufacturing price that they were giving to us were their own selling price. So they are treating us as a competitor. So how do I sell? If I come to Oak Faith Pharmaceuticals, sorry I'm mentioning that name just for example, and giving me a price which is your selling price, you are saying, hey, my boat. But if that I think will help us is to separate your manufacturing plant from your distribution part of the business. We are all doing two businesses, manufacturing, at the same time distributing it. If the plant manager have his own target to make sure he's running at 90%, nobody will tell him before he will out of his he will visit Neros, he will visit Alpha, he will visit importers like Embassy. You in my plant, and this is what I give you. That's one way which I believe, and it all comes down to what we said before: collaboration, collaboration, collaboration. Thank you very much.
Very wonderful suggestion. Let local manufacturers prospect importers and invite them and attract them and give them reasonable propositions and prices so that instead of going to China or India, they can use local manufacturing facilities. I hope we got that. That's a good one. Now, gentlemen, we have very limited time for contribution from the floor, but I will first, does anybody have a question to ask, especially our guest, Dr. Uchechukwu Ogah, because he's running out. Both she and Stella are catching the next flight. Do you have any specific question for him? If there is none for Uchechukwu Ogah, does anybody have a special question for Uchechukwu Ogah? So that if there's none, he can have his freedom to run at his own time. Somebody raise hand. Okay, please come quickly, madam. Do you have any microphone on the floor? Eh? Let me take. Is it Uchechukwu? Is it Uchechukwu? Uchechukwu. No, we'll ask someone who has a special question for Uchechukwu. Let her answer. Is there nobody with microphone down there?
Yes, a question to Dr. Uchechukwu. I don't know, I've been told here, you run about how many manufacturing companies. How do you cope with power? Particularly now that diesel is so unpredictable. This time you buy 2 times the cost of what you would have bought a month ago. So how do you generate power? How do you cope with power?
Currently, we are using gas, but we are working on captive power. We are signing a contract for a 20,000 megawatt for our industrial park, because what we are doing there is we are doing over 15 companies in one particular area. We just finished 8 of them. Now, we found out that the gas cannot solve the problem. So currently we are using AGO, but we're trying to get, we're working on getting captive power which is going to use gas. Now, I always tell people, don't look at, because of impediment, you now grow weary in doing the things that you want to do. Currently, there are a lot of programs going on. There is a general plan for generating gas within the entire Southeast, and it's going to run throughout within the entire Southeast. And what it means is that where we have major roads, if you have a facility there, you just hook onto the natural gas. That is 1. 2, we are working, looking at the future. In addition to our captive plant we want to do, which is 20,000 megawatts, we are currently using AGO. And one good thing is this: because I sell AGO, I can give myself the price which I'm landing the product. So it makes it easier for me. That's the only advantage, because I'm cut across within all the industry. So it's easier for me to always use internal pricing to work on my AGO. And then, because, for instance, if I bought AGO 120, today AGO is about 210. I cannot give myself 210. I can decide to give myself maybe 160 at that average cost, because I'm the importer and I'm equally the user. But what I'm saying is that if you look at it generally, most industries today are working on AGO. They are using gas. And only few have been able to connect to natural gas. So you cannot run away from saying because of power. Even where you have power, it's not functioning, it's not effective. So you still have the power as even a substitute to your AGO. So the basic thing today is AGO, and that's what everybody is using. And I believe that over time, don't get constrained because you don't have power, you don't set up the businesses you want to set up. So that when there is now power, before you now want to set up the business, the cost of setting that business will be more expensive than setting that business. That's what I advise people.
Thank you very much. Power, power, power. It's an issue for Nigeria. But you can be creative. People are looking at renewable energy. They're using energy efficiency to reduce energy consumption, even when you're in the mains, even when you're getting power from the distribution companies. Of course, AGO, the natural gas, are other alternatives. Some people are buying gas generators, and they are more efficient and less expensive. I was in a factory that was spending 440 million every month on generator AGO. Now they are on gas, and they are spending 2 million per month, from 40 to 2 million. Gas generators are more efficient than the ones and cheaper today for industrial use. Now I want to step down to the floor for the next few minutes that we have to get contributions to the subject. What is the subject? Medicine availability and national security, business perspective. How do we increase local production? How do we make local products more available? And also, how do we get pharmacies, distributors, wholesalers, retailers to stock local products in preference to manufacture? That is the question. And we have Emma Ebere, Mass PMG man, chairman, already standing. Emma, 30 seconds, please.
Yes. Thank you. Mazi, thank you. Thank you very much. A lot has been said, and almost 30% of responsibilities given here was to the manufacturing industry, manufacturing sector. Luckily, our chairman is here. One thing that the manufacturers in Nigeria are happy is that they started the argument that drugs are security items like food. And we are very happy that our noble profession has adopted this. Availability, very important. And for it to be available, there is a slogan that if you cannot make it here, it is not available for you. We started it. We still remember Dora Akonyele, Mazi. Dora Akonyele helped the PMG man to limit the importation of drugs for which we have adequate local capacity. And as soon as it was done, the manufacturers, pharmaceutical manufacturers in Nigeria, their number increased from 85 to 120. We were employing and manufacturing. The export, even though it is from the black market to West African sub-region, also increased. Today, of all the manufacturers in Africa, Nigeria alone has about 60% of all manufacturing facilities in Africa. In fact, in West Africa, Nigeria has over 80%. Over 80%. The next is Ghana that has just 10. The issue again is contract manufacturing. Please, you don't need to own a factory to manufacture. I acknowledge the appeal made by our colleagues here that people who have formulations registered by NAFDAC can go to any pharmaceutical factory in Nigeria and they manufacture for you. Let me also give a business opinion. You can establish a manufacturing plant, pharmaceutical manufacturing plant in Nigeria solely for contract manufacturing. In fact, you will make more money than those who own the factory and are manufacturing only their products. People can come together, collaborate to establish a plant, not manufacturing for you, but ready to manufacture for all importers. Once you have your formulation, you just go there and then you will start manufacturing.
Thank you very much.
So
thank you. Who is next? Yes, I recognize you. Can you help me? You want to speak? Yeah, so, but I need somebody to speak. We started Hello? We started quarter after 9. We started quarter after 9 and we have 90 minutes. So.
Yes, my name is a pharmacist, Sam Adekola. I'm the National Vice Chairman of ACPN.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the BOI woman is no more here. My question is actually directed to her. But I think you guys up there can also take the message to the government. She spoke about the involvement of BOI in the manufacturing value chain. But the truth about it is this. If we use the whole of this facility to manufacture, and there is no distribution, there is no sales of that what we manufacture, of course, there cannot be sustainability. Such manufacturing cannot continue. We at the ACPN are the only organs, the official organs of pharmacy that is directly in touch with the people where these products are distributed. One major issue we have is the issue of stocks for fun. And that has made distribution difficult. That is why majority of manufacturers goes to sell their product in the open drug market. Because we, who are their colleagues, who are the people that are supposed to buy these drugs, don't have the fund to buy from them. We can't source fund. From BOI, we have made frantic effort. We have made several efforts. Pharmacy, retail pharmacy, is the only, perhaps the only.
Ended! What's it with this? Why you can't lock and down with chain and padlock for anybody?
My mask will say make we block malaria.
Not be padlock, oh. Lock and down with Lockmouth. Lockmouth, now the ogbonge medicine from Emso. We go lock down and kaput malaria. Sharp, sharp.
In every pack of Lockmore QS Combi, you also get 12 tablets of Emso paracetamol at no extra charge. Lockmore, lock down malaria fast.
We'll send a message to her. Okay.
She's here now. I think
We can only take two more. Let's give to Victor Amota. Victor, one more, preferably a lady. Any lady wants to make a contribution. Lady, I'm gender sensitive. In the absence of any lady, I'll take the man. Name it.
Yeah, my name is Victor Amota. My contribution is on the agreement today, the motion that we should stop importing pharmaceutical starch, grey starch. Yes, it's a very good proposal, but there is a rider to that. If government is not involved and we don't get support of government policies, even if we bring the best investors to take on this and manufacture the starch or whatever you call it, it will not fly. A free-for-all importation of pharmaceutical grade starch will not allow the local industry to manufacture starch and sell and make profit for the investors. It will certainly fail. So I suggest that we should include that there should be a lobby group, pharmacists, who will support this program and lobby government to make policies that will protect this, our agreement today.
Thank you.
Very, very important.
Thank you very much. Please, the last contribution this way. Here, right, please, to the right.
Thank you. My name is Ernesto Cafo. They are talking about the commercial perspective in medicine availability. Life is about packaging. And when we watch Food Network, we discover that no matter how bad the food is, presentation is the key. If we must compete favorably with imported products, we must package our locally manufactured products very well. It's an issue as a distributor or somebody in distribution business, we are having issues with the locally produced products. Secondly, we are talking about supply chain issue. Most products manufactured in Nigeria are not barcoded. And for us to assess these products into the supply chain, we're having the difficulty. And we have said for locally manufactured products to compete favorably, they must go with certain acceptable global standards, which is lacking in the country. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much. The last two contributors, one added more to the need to go on advocacy so that any agreement we make here, or any decision we make will be successful. And the last speaker is giving advice that local manufacturers must meet international packaging requirements in quality, in aesthetics, in carrying barcode, in technology, so that there be seamless, no distinction really from local manufactured, and that is important. I think I want to bring this session to an end. We have had a good time. I don't have time to summarize what we have said. In distribution, in recommendation of the locally made products. Otherwise, there is no point talking about them. Yes, we must improve packaging. We must improve aesthetics. But they will not happen in one day. And if we follow the least line of resistance, there will be no local manufacturing at all. Everybody will close his plant and join importation. But how many jobs are we going to be creating? How much wealth are we going to be creating? Are we not going to worsen our independence or lack of it on imported products? So I think we need to take a resolution as an organization, as an association, that we all must be committed to improving local availability. It's not just for the interest of the manufacturers, because those who make more money in the pharmaceutical business are those who are importing. The manufacturers make little money. So it's not because of money making, it's because it's important for the survival of our nation and to reduce us from the trouble and the exposure to being fully dependent. I want to thank my panelists for making their contributions. Unfortunately, there's not enough time for roundup. I want to thank those who have spoken from the floor. I want to thank all of you who have been present, who came here early for us to start this program. We have made some resolutions. One of them is that by the year 2020, Nigeria should no longer be talking about importing cornstarch or pharmaceutical grade starch of any sort. That's one resolution we're taking along as we build up our research and development.
Use Durojesic if you get back pain, muscle pain, I mean joint pain, rub Durojesic, put go warm, go reach deep down. No wonder Durojesic they really pay. Yo, rub Neurogesic. Put am, go warm, go reach deep down. No wonder, Neurogesic, they really pay.
True, Neurogesic, it get power pass pain. Neurogesic, na Drugfield Pharmaceuticals Limited, they make am.
For our panelists, permit me to stand on already existing protocols. My name is Rametu Momodu, and I will be your anchor for the next session. But before the next session, we have a few announcements, and we also will take a presentation from Agari. So Agari Farm, if you're ready, please get ready for your presentation. We have an announcement for the excursion. If there's an...
One to 2 teaspoonful of Coflax cough syrup 3 times daily gives you fast relief from chesty and dry cough. Coflax clears your cough and symptoms of cold associated with it. Coflax is available for adults and children.